Hello, this is Jessica Mckay. I'm an intuitive counselor and spiritual teacher at jessicamckay.com. Thank you so much for watching this video on numerologist.com. In today's video, I'm going to talk about how to see your future. And this is something I get asked a lot, I get asked, how do I know what's going to happen to me? And most of us ask that question because we don't want anything bad to happen, right? We're afraid of certain pitfalls and we want to see if we can avoid them. So there is a way of being able to intuit what your life's path holds for you based on the decisions you're making in the present. So one of the reasons that seeing the future can be difficult is because you didn't come here to live your life as a robot. Nothing is set in stone for you. You have incredible choice and free will around the patterns that you chose in the beginning. So let me explain. Before you came into this life, before you chose to incarnate into physical form, there was something that your soul desired to experience and embody. That's why we choose a physical body, is we come here to experience. Not so much to learn, because you can learn everything there is to know in the afterlife. You can study, you have access to all the wisdom that exists. So why would you choose to come to Earth and to be in a body and have a life? To experience things, because there's a great deal of difference between knowing something mentally and experiencing it and embodying it. So you might have chosen to come here to experience compassion, to really embody that. And there's nothing more powerful than living a physical life to embody something. So you could think of it this way. Think of it as if you were an artist. And before you came here, you got to choose the colors that you were going to explore in a human life. So maybe you decided that you were going to use all the purples and all the blues and all the greens in your life. So you have your palette of colors. And then once you're in this life, what you paint is completely up to you. So you only have access to those colors, but you can paint anything you want. So when you go to a psychic and you say, what does my future hold? That psychic might be able to see what colors you chose, so what patterns you're working with, what qualities you came here to embody and experience, and they might be able to see possibilities. So by that I mean they might be able to see a couple of different paintings that you might create over the course of your life using those colors, but they will never be able to know exactly what you paint and exactly what unfolds for you in your life. And the reason is because you choose. You have that free will. You get to decide, and every day you are different. Your energy level is different, your mood is different, the wisdom you have is changing based on what you experienced previously. So what you're inclined to paint, create, is always different. So a psychic can look at your energy in the present moment and extrapolate from that what you might paint with that energy. So that being said, so even though you can't see absolutely everything that you're going to do, and to be honest, you wouldn't want to. If you knew exactly what was going to happen to you every moment of your life, you would be so bored. You would be so bored that there would be no point to even coming here and experiencing anything. So there is a way to intuit what's possible for you based on the present moment. So what you would do is you would use this in your decision-making process. So say that you're in a relationship and you're trying to decide whether this is the right relationship for you. Maybe you're not sure, maybe you have doubts. or maybe you've been in this relationship and it's not feeling so good to you anymore, so you're trying to make a decision. So you can ask yourself, what will my life look like if I leave this person? Or you can ask, what will my life look like if I stay? And here's how you would do that. So your subconscious mind knows the answer. It knows what's best for you. It knows why your soul decided to come and embody and take on a body, you know, so you really have the answers inside. So what you would do is you would imagine, close your eyes and imagine a path, your life path stretching out in front of you. And I'm going to put up a picture here just so you can see. This is an example of a path that stretches out from you. So you might imagine this path stretching out before you and put anything on that path you want. You might see flowers next to it. You might see mountains in the distance. You might see long grass. The path might lead into a forest, whatever it is. So you could close your eyes and just imagine any path. And when you see it in front of you, that's when to ask yourself, okay, what happens to my path if I leave my partner? What happens to my path? And notice what happens. This life path will shift. You might see that the path gets very wide, or maybe it gets narrow, maybe it gets cluttered, maybe it becomes more difficult to walk. Your subconscious will send you it'll send you symbols for you to interpret. So either the path will get difficult or it will get easy and it'll flow. That's how you know what might feel best to you. So that is how to do this. So you can do it with, if you're trying to decide about a job or a career path, close your eyes, imagine your life path out in front of you, and then say, how does my path change if I take this road? What happens if I suddenly decide to change, to switch jobs? What happens to this path? And notice what happens. So, and then you might be able to tell from the imagery, oh wow, this seems like life could get really interesting for me. Look what opens up. There are all these new pastures that come into focus. So this is how you can play with your clairvoyance, which is your ability to see things in your mind. And use your imagination for this. Use your imagination to create the path, and then watch how your path changes when you pose a question to your mind about the future. Okay, so if you didn't quite get this, feel free to leave a comment here, ask questions, and I will try to answer those as best I can. I hope that this was enjoyable to you. Please feel free to share this video and let other people know how to see their future. See you again.